Donald Trump is preparing a phone call to Vladimir Putin to end the war in Ukraine. Biden administration is ready to strengthen Ukraine's position for negotiations. Meanwhile, Donald Trump's team is ready to take control over Greenland. So what is known about current plans for a phone call between Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin, and could this phone call end the war in Ukraine? So Donald Trump's national security advisor Mike Waltz said that there are plans on the table for a phone call between US President-elect Donald Trump and Russian dictator Vladimir Putin. This phone call could happen in a matter in the upcoming days or weeks now. So Trump is ready to call Vladimir Putin and ask him to end the war in Ukraine, to enforce a ceasefire between Russia and Ukraine. Also, Mike Waltz is confident that a ceasefire deal would be a great option, great starting option both for Ukraine and Russia to continue to negotiate a peaceful settlement of the war in Ukraine in the nearest future. Also, Mike Waltz said that there are upcoming plans for a big summit, big personal meeting between Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin, and Switzerland is ready to host the summit between both Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin. Also, Mike Waltz says that Ukraine would need to stabilize the front line to establish a demilitarized zone, and Ukraine would need to stabilize the situation on the front lines to reach a proper ceasefire deal in the nearest future. Also, Mike Waltz says that Ukraine really moves forward, and Ukraine would like to go all in, and that's why Ukraine also should solve the mobilization problems in conscription and mobilize and conscript even 18 years old men, because Ukraine now is conscripting only 25 years old and older men to the front lines. However, this is a big question on whether Trump's administration is ready to go all in and to allow Ukraine to strike deep inside Russia and to provide Ukraine with military assistance, because this is the only way how Trump can force Putin to negotiate a peaceful settlement of the war in Ukraine. Also, recently Vladimir Putin says that he would be ready for a compromise, but under what kind of terms this would be possible? There are lots of discussions about the peaceful settlement of the war, and also Trump's national security advisor proposed to create a demilitarized zone to enforce a ceasefire. But the big question is whether Vladimir Putin is ready to agree with such a proposal on a ceasefire right now. Meanwhile, Biden administration said that they will strengthen Ukraine's position for possible negotiations with Russia and with Ukraine. So Biden administration is confident that recent sanctions against Russian oil export has deepened bad situation for Vladimir Putin. Also, according to the President Biden, he believes that Ukraine can prevail over Russia because Russia faces the direst moment right now, the direst situation because of Western sanctions. However, White House is not confident that Vladimir Putin is ready for a compromise. Moreover, the U.S. Institute for Study for War also says that Vladimir Putin is not ready for a compromise because he would like to annex, to conquer 4 regions of Ukraine, also which are not fully controlled by the Russian army, and he would like Ukraine to abandon 4 its own regions. That's why it's a non-starter deal for Ukraine, and that's why this is the biggest indicator about why Vladimir Putin does not want Ukraine to prevail, because Vladimir Putin is not ready for a compromise, and he is not yet ready for a negotiations, for a ceasefire. He would not be ready to agree with Trump's ceasefire deal, and now all depends on Donald Trump's team, because their ability to put pressure on Putin to allow Ukraine to strike deep inside Russia and to send military aid to Ukraine will determine the outcome of this war and the outcome of a ceasefire. Only Trump's ability to put pressure on Putin will can force Vladimir Putin to agree with a ceasefire deal as soon as possible, but Stay with us on YouTube and we will analyze the results of this phone call between Trump and Vladimir Putin if it will happen, because it will be best indicator on whether the big summit between Trump and Putin will ever happen in Switzerland, because Vladimir Putin rejects all possible Trump's plans on a ceasefire. He would like only his ultimatums to be a part of the big plan to end the war in Ukraine, because he would like Ukraine to not to exist as a sovereign state. That's why he is pressing for 4 Ukraine regions totally occupied by Russia. This is Vladimir Putin's term for a ceasefire, but Donald Trump has the ability to force him to withdraw and to force him to agree with a ceasefire deal as soon as possible. At the same time, North Korean soldiers have suffered tremendous losses on Ukrainian soil. 300 North Korean soldiers have already been killed and 2,700 have been wounded, according to the South Korean intelligence. So South Korean intelligence is confident that North Korean are used as a cannon fodder in the war in Ukraine, because they do not know about the modern warfare. They don't know anything about modern warfare, because they haven't participated in overseas operations. They haven't even seen drones in their life. They try to shoot down drones with their rifles. That's why North Korean troops are not able to properly fight, as they're used by Russia as a cannon fodder. Moreover, Ukraine has already captured several North Korean soldiers that are in captivity in Ukraine, and that's why North Koreans are poorly equipped, poorly trained, and they do not know how to properly use things. This is a crime against humanity, because they are not properly trained for this fight, and they don't know how to properly use the equipment, because they don't know how does the modern warfare look like. At the same time, Donald Trump's team is ready to regain control, to take control of Greenland. However, they will like to use diplomatic means for this. So Danish government is ready for a compromise over Greenland, but they will not sell Greenland to Trump. They will like to establish a big peace deal, a big deal between the United States and Greenland, which will allow the United States to increase its military presence in Greenland, and that's how Donald Trump can make a victory from this case and make a adequate and normal, appropriate deal, because Greenland will not be sold to the United States or other allies. That's how Greenland could be controlled by the United States, because there is a big U.S. Military installations in the Greenland, and Donald Trump can reach a deal with the Danish government and just increase military presence there, and that's how they can defeat Russia and China in Antarctica, and that's how Donald Trump can easily strengthen U.S. positions on the global stage by just not trying to conquer, to invade Greenland, but only by reaching a deal with Denmark to increase, for example, military installations in the Greenland and military presence there. That's all for today. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, stay with us on YouTube, and glory to Ukraine.